What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy Dtlf back with another very, very special video, guys. As you guys know, we have live phone call Friday today. Make sure you guys get your phones ready because in just a couple of minutes, I'm gonna be dropping the phone number so you guys can call in, voice your displeasure with the Lakers, or I mean, if you feel like we're overreacting, whatever the case may be. Laker Nation gets his voice today. So, looking forward to hearing what's on your guys' mind. How upset is Laker Nation? Uh, Today, Friday, the Lakers are dead last in the NBA on defense, defensive rating, or defensive efficiency, whatever you want to call it. We're dead last. The number one team in the NBA right now is the Miami Heat. Um, I want to know exactly what you guys think is the problem, how we can fix it moving forward, all this good stuff. Plenty of questions to answer today. So we're going to be taking in questions. Uh man, it's been a tough, long last 2 days, guys. But my Friday's going good. Thank you guys for asking so much. Hopefully you guys are doing good. What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the chat. All right. So let's kick it off, man. Let's not sugarcoat anything. The Lakers been playing horrible both ends of the floor, turning the ball over way too much in the offensive end, and on the defensive end, we are ranked dead last. Not 29, not 27, not 26. Dead last in the NBA in defensive rating. Remember the 2020 season when we won the championship, we were number one at one point. Frank Vogel, known as a defensive head coach. What is wrong with this guy, man? Why he can't get this team going? And also, it's not all on the coach. We also have issues within the roster as well. So I wanted to know who's to blame. Who's the number one person to blame? Is it the front office? Is it the coaching staff? Is it a particular player? A lot of people are going to say Westbrook today. I'm looking forward to debating, man. So make sure you guys join the conversation. Phone numbers on the screen. You guys can go ahead and call at any moment. I want to talk to Laker Nation and see what you guys got to say. Really quick, before I get into the phone calls, though, I want to make this analogy about the Lakers, man. I feel like Russell Westbrook is a double-sided blade. When used properly, he will be able to cut through the defense and do damage and help us win games. But when he overdoes it, man, I think we're going to struggle. So, all right, without further ado, let's take the first phone call. What's up, man? You on live with DTLF?
What up, man?
Hey, how you doing, bro? Talk to me. Where you calling in from?
I'm from LA, man. I'm actually watching you right now, man. I just want to say God bless you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're a real good example for the little ones, man. I really appreciate you, your hustle, your motivation, the blood, sweat, and tears that you put in this. Hey, man.
I appreciate that, man, very much, brother.
I can't say more, man. Come on, man.
I appreciate you so much, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to cover the Lakers with y'all, man. I am truly humbled by your kind words, brother. But how are we feeling about the Lakers, though, man? Talk to me, bro.
Hey, man, I think defensively, I think that's the main issue, man. That's got to be the main issue. You know, dead last, man, that's like the complete opposite of what we were 2 years ago, man. Or even last year, too.
Absolutely.
I think the defense needs the improvement. I think Frank Vogel and his rotations are just flat out garbage right now.
The rotations. Okay, I respect that. What would you change, man? I want to know what Laker Nation would change about these rotations, you know, because we've been hearing about the rotations, but what needs to change, in your opinion, to get them pushing forward, bro?
I think the starting lineup I think it's better if we went back to where we had two defensive guards like Danny Green and Avery Bradley, but this time we could put Avery Bradley and Ben Bazemore in there.
Right.
Similar 2 years ago. I think that'll do some benefits at least.
Avery Bradley and Bazemore. I like that rotation. So then who would you subtract from the equation? DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah, I'll put AD in the center.
Okay, that's solid, man. I had a similar lineup to that. My thing is though, defensively, we do look a bit old. I'm not gonna lie. They were talking about we're gonna look old this season, and I know it's early, and they still have adjustments to make. But to go from one of the top 10 defenses one season to the bottom, all the way at the bottom of the barrel at number 30, you have to start wondering if age factors into it. So now, my suggestion for this team personally, bro, is when the youth gets back, spike up their minutes, give them a lot more time, give them a lot more playing time. I'm talking Taylor Horton Tucker, Kendrick Nunn, guys like that need, bulk minutes, in my opinion. That's what I feel like could save us because look, we did lose some youth. We got rid of Kuz, we got rid of Caruso, so we lost some very good defenders. People always talk about how Kuzma was inconsistent offensively, but defensively, my man was about what 6'9". He had mobile feet. He can get a couple block shots, rebounds. So we missed that. And as far as Caruso, you see what he's doing with the Bulls, right? So
Man.
yeah, for those reasons, I agree with you with the Avery Bradley situation. But I think when our guys come back, our youth, they need to you spike up their minutes a little bit and subtract some from guys like Rondo, a little bit of the older crowd, at least for regular season.
Well, we could switch up Avery Bradley with THT and put him in the starting lineup.
That's true. I mean, I definitely wanted THC to start, when he came back, but we'll have to see how he looks, post injury. One thing THC would bring to this roster, in my opinion, bro, is we settle way too much for jumpers. I feel like this man loves to slash and get into spots and playmaking stuff like that. So I think that could be really good, man, moving forward. And any other points, bro, you want to say?
Nah, man, you answer all of them, man. I appreciate you and your hustle, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're changing lives and you don't notice it, man.
Thanks so much for the call, man. I appreciate you, man. God bless you, brother. Hopefully the Lakers win today. I'll see you guys there for the post game as well, hopefully. Thank you, man, for the call. I'll take more calls right now, guys. A lot of you guys were trying to get in while I was talking to bro. I appreciate the call. Very educated points he made about this team. A lot of people do want to switch up the starting lineup, but I think it's going to take a little bit more of a drastic change. I'm starting to think more youth infusion. Maybe we get this Dumbuya guy, the guy we picked up, the two-way contract. Maybe we give him a little bit of run. How y'all feel about that? I don't know. We got to mix it up and do something because, man, this isn't working. Whatever it is, it's not working. Hey, what's up, man? You on live with Dan?
What's up, Dan? Kobe Forever.
How you doing, brother?
Good. That's what you're doing and everything. I'm always watching your lives, your post-game shows, and your halftime shows and everything.
I appreciate that, man. How you feeling about the Lakers, bro? Where you calling in from, by the way?
Irvine.
Irvine, that's right. That's right. You stayed near Anaheim. That's right. Man, so how you feeling about the Lakers, man? What's up? What's the problem with the team?
So far, disappointing and everything, but we'll give struggles and everything. Westbrook, like the other guys and everything, struggle with getting used to his new team and everything, but Westbrook will get used to it and everything. He'll be fine.
So you feel like this is just something we're gonna get over? You don't think anything drastic needs to happen, or you're good with the way the roster is now?
Probably like you said and everything, like the other part and everything. Probably should start THT and probably start Dwight over DJ.
Dwight over DJ. Okay, that's interesting, for sure. I mean, look, I don't know how much longer the coach can keep the same rotations. If it's not working, let's just say tonight we play the Cavs, right? I think if we lose tonight, God forbid it, but if we lose tonight, I feel like everything's going to come crashing down, and it's going to be really bad. So I think tonight, as much as I hate to say, must win. If there's any early season victory we need more than anything, it's going to be tonight, just to kind of recover from what we did last game, man. Because that was bad. I'm still having nightmares, bro. It was bad, man.
True. But I think Westbrook would have a triple double today, and it's gonna not have like a triple double like having like last time, one last night tough game.
Yeah, we could use a triple double. What we don't need from Westbrook is for him to overdo it, especially if LeBron comes back tonight. He might come back, play against his former team. We don't need him to do too much because then what happens is, like I said before the stream started, we need him to play under control. But thanks so much for the call, brother. I appreciate you, man. Always a loyal supporter, man. Thanks so much. Go Lakers, baby.
Go Lakers.
So, okay. A lot of you guys are with the whole, lineup changes and stuff like that. But I want to see, I want to hear from a caller that maybe sees something we may not. I don't know. I'm trying to see. I might be reaching here, but let's see who's calling in now. Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Dan? Hey, what up, Dan? It's Big Baby. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Big Baby? Glad to hear from you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Living life. God is good. Everything's fine.
That's good, man. Glad to hear from you, brother. How you living over there with the Lakers now, man?
I'm doing good. It's I know we gave up the 26-point lead a couple of nights ago, but we can learn from that. We can learn from that, get better, and just get better each and every game. Take it one game at a time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I agree.
And shout out to the front office for getting Austin Reeves, man. I love his game. He's very underrated. Like his defense. Shooting that pump fake that he does while he steps in, that's his like go-to shot. What do you think?
Yeah, man, that's a veteran move right there. I like it when he pump fakes the three and then he steps in for the higher percentage bucket for sure, man. Austin Reeves has been really impressive to your point, man.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't even mind if he started. I mean, if we do see some lineup changes, I prefer coach play the more effective players to start off the game because sometimes we get off the slower starts, right?
Yeah, we do. And here's the thing: I feel like the Lakers say, you know what? It's against the Thunder, or like tonight, just okay, Cavaliers. We're gonna take them lightly. It's fine. We'll come back in the second quarter, third quarter, and they look up, oh, it's 20, and then that's when they get up. I noticed that the Lakers did that a lot last season. Took teams for granted. They got punched in the mouth for it. He had to come out and just dominate them by 30, push it to 60 if he has to.
Absolutely. You know? Oh yeah, and not only that, man, but I feel like teams don't respect us. I don't know why. They don't fear, you know, all the Hall of Fame talent we have. It's like they circle us in the calendar and they're saying, okay, I'm going to go get buckets. Every night we're getting destroyed by young, speedy, shifty guards. If it's not DeJounte Murray, it's Ja Morant. Well, Ja Morant, it's okay. But, you know, the no-name players I struggle with. For example, tonight, watch out for Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. You know, two very shifty, well, especially Colin Sexton. You know, they can space you out with the three-point shooting. They can get to the rim. You know, it's going to be a long night if the Lakers don't defend better tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. And we're ranked 25th in defense, and we got to do better. You know, that game last week, or Tuesday, we played soft in the second half. We fell asleep defensively, and that's what happens when you give a team life in the NBA. You know?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Blow them out.
You can't play with your food, man. You can't play with your food.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Quick, how do you feel about Kuzma getting up from Washington, KCP, how do you feel about all those players that we have and you're watching? How do you feel about them turning up on other teams?
That tends to happen a lot with the Lakers for multiple reasons. I think that has to do with the pressure of playing under LA is big, and not every player can. That's number one. You know, not every player performs the same way. You know, playing for the Lakers and playing for some other franchise like the Wizards, right? That's number one. Number two, I mean, we knew they had talent. I always said Kuzma on another team is going to put up a double-double. You know, he's a starting caliber player. He's just I felt he was misutilized here. You know, I feel like we could have started him alongside LeBron and AD, but for some reason the coaches are stubborn. They tend to stick with veterans like Danny Green, you know, veterans like that over young talent for the most part. And that does drive me crazy because I'm the type of person that says you should play whoever deserves to play most, right? That way you can get the most of all the talent out of all the talent. But it doesn't seem like Frank Vogel is that way. Luke Walton wasn't that way. And now he's on, you know, they're on a team that's, you know, maximizing their potential. So I'm happy for those guys. I'm happy for Alex Caruso too. I'm happy for Lonzo Ball, all the ex-Lakers, man, doing good. Shout out to them. So long as they don't play for the Clippers or the Celtics, I can root for them, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm happy, man. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, I'm happy too, but I'm not surprised. Like, Caruso, he done that with us, so I'm not really surprised. You know what I mean?
Right.
He done with us, same with Lonzo. And that's the thing, though, about Lonzo. I feel like his dad put him out in the spotlight when he came into the league. You know, and I feel like once he left the Lakers, he's okay, and then he balled out. And then I feel like once he told his dad to leave me alone, I'm a grown-ass man now, and that's when you stop. You don't hear LeVar Ball in the news anymore.
Right.
And stuff. He's quiet. So it's like, come on, man. I wish he would have stayed quiet when he was with the Lakers.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. No, and the thing about Lonzo Ball is that he was balling with those garbage Triple B shoes, man. He kept getting injured, you know?
Yeah.
So this was his trial and error years here, unfortunately. And again, the spotlight here for Los Angeles way different than Chicago or New Orleans, you know? So, but I'm happy for the guys, man. And I always knew they had the talent. You know, you remember when all the fair weather fans would trash them, and I would say, wait till they get on other teams. You're going to see exactly how special they are, right? And
I remember that.
Yeah, now you see. Now you
that young talent.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised at all, bro. You know.
Yeah, and you were preaching PhD, and I'm keeping it real like I always do. I wanted him gone for Kyle Lowry. I'm keeping it very real.
Right.
I wanted him to get rid of PhD for Kyle Lowry, and then you talked about it, and I understand PhD is very young, talented, and he's shining in LA now. And I was like, oh no, let's get Kyle Lowry, and then he stinks up the joint in the bubble, and I'm like, never mind, I don't want him anymore.
And you know what? It works out. It works out. Sometimes things happen for a reason, because even if we would have traded for Kyle Lowry with the injuries to LeBron and AD, We would have just been stuck with his contract. He might have probably still left.
Probably, yeah.
So you just never know. We end up keeping our young talent, and we need all the young talent we can get. See, people forget Father Time is undefeated. LeBron James at some point will retire. Russell Westbrook will move on as well, and then we'll be left with Anthony Davis and hopefully some young talent like THT and Austin Reeves. And the Lakers do a good job of replenishing talent, but we got to keep some of that talent. You can't just trade everybody away. And look, they're calling us old now, but I promise you, when these young talented players come back, it's going to look a lot different. THT, Kendrick Nunn, all those guys are going to infuse some of that youth and energy onto this lineup, and I think we'll look a little bit better for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Real quick before I get up and on here, man. Do you think there's going to be a time point where Lakers are going to get rid of Frank Vogel, or are they just going to continue to go with him? Because I see times where he does things like Luke Walton.
All right.
Take players out when they're feeling hot and shit. So what do you think?
I appreciate the question. That's a good question. Do I think there's going to be a time period when the Lakers look to get rid of Frank Vogel? I think success will be the better precursor for that. I think that'll be determined on how he's able to coach the struggling Lakers as of right now. I think he's on the hot seat now. It might be behind the scenes. You might not hear about it, but let's just say we lose tonight and we lose a couple more, then I think somebody's head's getting chopped off, and it could be Frank Vogel's, whether it's fully his fault or not. But bottom line is that Los Angeles is a city of results. And when you don't get those results, when you have the talent and you're not getting the results, somebody is going to take the fall. And I think that could be Frank. So absolutely, brother. Thanks so much for the call, Big Baby Jonathan. I appreciate you, man. Yep. Have a good one, bro. Great call, man. Again, a lot of interesting points talked about there. Now, I do want to take a little break from the calls, and I want to see what Laker Nation has to say in the comment section. See, I was thinking about it this morning. I was listening to sports shows talk about Russell Westbrook and how you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to take the good with the bad. See, to me, Russell Westbrook, before he came to the Lakers, was like Wolverine before he went to the X-Men. He really didn't know how to be under control. He was out of control. He was just going off of his instincts, right? He's a beast, but he was going off of his instincts. And once he came here, he has to let, Professor Charles Xavier, a.k.a. LeBron James, lead the team, because he knows how to lead. He's the one that brings everybody together. And so he needs to learn when to turn it on and when to turn it off. I heard Skip Bayless and Shannon say that Russ, the worst thing that could have happened to him was that game where he dropped that close to the triple-double over there in San Antonio. I think that was a good thing, but he needs to for sure pace himself better. For example, he had a great first half the other night and then an atrocious second half. He needs to be able to sustain his smart play, and I can't wait to see what happens there. But I still believe in Westbrook. I don't think he is the player everybody else is calling him trash and saying that he's not a winner. I think he will learn to become a winner because he has just joined the Lakers, a.k.a. the X-Men, and they're going to put the reins on him and learn how to utilize him at his best. What's up, King Jess? All right, let's take another call. What's up? You on live with Dan?
Yeah, Dan, how you doing? It's Hector from Pennsylvania. How you doing, my man?
Doing really good, Hector. Glad to hear from you, man.
Man, good to see you in Twitter, man. That was a nice conversation, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys interacting with your boy all the time, man.
Yo, man. Well, what's going on? What you think is going to happen tonight, man? What's your projection?
You know what? This is going to go either one way or the other. I'd love to give the Lakers the benefit of the doubt, but they haven't shown me a consistency yet. Once they show it to me, then I can maybe believe in them a little bit more. Tonight, what I want to happen is for the Lakers to play smart, good defense in the backcourt, because we've been getting torched all year long.
Man, it's one of the things that bring my attention is like that Frank Vogel is a really defensive minded coach, but he's not showing me that right now, man. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of the times these coaches get all the praise, but you have to look at the makeup of the team. Frank Vogel has had great defenders on his team, on all the teams he's been on, and for the most part, he's done a good job of utilizing them. But this year, we started off with some horrible injuries right off the start, and this is where you really get to see his coaching pedigree right now, right?
Like, remember, we talking about that we're supposed to have Kendrick Nunn and THT basically even in the starting lineup or even come from the bench right away. But right now we don't have those two weapons, man.
Absolutely.
So is those two guys, man, is basically the young people, the young boys from our team right now. They're not playing right now, so I'm pretty sure when these two guys coming back, the mentality of the team is going to change because I mean THT is the guy that can come from the bench and score you like 15 to 20 points in an RB, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think eventually we're gonna get better. I mean, like people don't realize it's only 5 games, brother. It's only 5 games. Some people just make an assumption right now that I mean, I'm not talking about you because I know you how you are. You're so nice and you come, and that's why I basically follow you.
Appreciate it, man.
Some other Lakers podcasts and stuff like that I listen to them too. And man, I mean, how you can batch? I know he's a struggle right now, Russell Westbrook, but that's exactly what happened to him last year with Bradley Beal. And they make a run at the end. They made a run at the end of the year, and they basically made a playoff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we got to give it some time to the boys, man. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, it's more connection, I know, but I mean, I think Vogel needs to focus more. He needs to focus more in defensive mind team right now because that's basically his mind. So right now we are basically the defense is not basically cutting. They're not picking. They're not changing position. They're basically like out of the loop right now. I don't know what's going on. So that's something that's coaching. That's not the players. You know what I mean? So
and this year I'm more concerned than last year because last year the defense was at least good, but the offense was horrible, right? This year the defense is just as bad as the offense. For example, the other night, you know, the last 3 shots we took to try to tie the game were all 3-pointers instead of trying to play smart and go inside. If the 3-ball's not falling, you know, foul them, you know, force them to hit free throws and extend the game. The Lakers just went to just jacking up whatever they could, right? And so I'm really concerned about this team this year, but I'm still optimistic that we have time to get it right.
Brother, when I'm saying you can have some calculation or some projection on how it's going to be the season in game number 25 or maybe game 30, but 5 games, brother, we cannot make any projection. It's just like too early.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
It is too early, but we can definitely dissect certain things about this roster right now. For example, you talked about, you know, Russell Westbrook with the Washington Wizards last year, right? This is a different situation because here he's coming into a situation that already has 2 superstars, and there's tons of expectations. There was no expectations. He only had 1 superstar, so he was option number 2. Now he has to become and learn how to become option number 3. He's never been that in his career. When he was with Oklahoma City, he was option number 2 behind Kevin Durant, right?
You're so right on that. But I mean, I was looking at his stats compared with the first game with the Lakers, and
he's getting better.
He is basically making the same type of shot.
Right, but here's the problem. Here's the problem, though. Again, there's no pressure there. So if he has 7, 8 turnovers there, nobody's gonna notice, right? He's breaking records and getting triple doubles. Here, the 10 turnovers he made the other night killed us. So he has to take better care of the basketball here.
Like you say, he's right now. He's in the Lakers, bro. He's not in Washington. This is a high market. This is a high market franchise. You know, we're not talking like you say. It's not. I mean, it's not the same pressure that for Lonzo that play in Chicago right now to play in LA. It's two different animals. You know.
Right. Absolutely.
So I mean, I think we're gonna be fine, and we're gonna be a lot of improvement in the first. After the 10 games, when we have more connection, when people know how to be, how to cut, where LeBron wants this guy here. You see. One of the things that I think that is going to be so successful for our team is Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk should start the game.
Right. Yeah, and he's looked phenomenal for the Lakers.
Mm-hmm. He's bowling. He's bowling. We should play him. We should play. We got to make some. I mean, what is the name of the guy? Austin Reeves.
Yeah, and I'll even make a case that I would start Austin Reeves over Malik Monk because as much as I like Malik Monk's offense better, I like Austin Reeves' defense better, and I feel like we need to improve defensively. So I would plug him in the starting lineup and bring Malik Monk off the bench. But we'll see. If he continues to get better, then that shouldn't be an issue defensively.
Hey, Dan, thank you so much, man. I'm working right now, but I mean, like you can hear, I'm in the store right now. But
Absolutely.
I mean, like I say, thank you very much, man. Keep doing the great job that you're doing, and basically, man, we're gonna be there. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, let the Clipper fans and the Celtics fans talking,
right,
BS, talking BS about us. But I mean, like I said before, we are who you are. If you are a Laker fan, real Laker fan, even in the struggle, we got to be basically all together,
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. We're always here with our head up and always optimistic, man. I'm looking forward to tonight's game, The excitement hasn't left, just because we're losing some games here and there. I'm still just as excited as you guys are, man. So go Lakers, baby.
So what do you think tonight? For how many points we're going to win?
I say I want the Lakers to come out and make a dominating fashion statement win, but the Cavaliers are going to be tough. They got a lot of size in the paint, and they got shifty guards, so we struggle with both of those things. So let's see how we do. But I would say Lakers by 10. I'd love to have it.
I got the same thing.
All right, man. Thanks so much for the call, brother.
God bless you, man.
All right, you too, brother. Great call so far, man. We got 3 calls in, many more to come. Here's the thing. A lot of great points being made by you guys, man. I absolutely agree that the Lakers are going to be fine. However, we can't just the Lakers can't think like that. The coaching staff needs to step their game up. The players, especially our star players, need to start leading. Like Carmelo Anthony, he had a great game at Staples Center right before we went on the road trip, and then he bombed the last 2 games. So I need him to step up tonight. We're going to need Anthony Davis to continue to be assertive. Now, people are looking at his stats and saying he's having a great season, and he is. 28 points a game, 10 rebounds and a couple blocks. He's doing great, but there's some games where he just needs to take over in the paint, and I would love to see him start from the inside and then move out. Those are my only criticisms with AD, and of course his leadership needs to get better. But other than that, yeah, we're gonna improve, guys. What's up? You on live with Laker Nation?
Hello? Hey, what's good with you, man?
Doing good, man. Just getting ready for the game. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm a lifelong Lakers fan, calling in from Philadelphia. So.
Oh, Philly, nice. Appreciate the call, man. What are we calling about today?
Yeah, they hate me up here, by the way, too.
Oh, they do? They hate you over there? Oh, man. Hey, but I thought the city was supposed to be the city of brotherly love, man. What's going on?
I don't know, man. It depends. They can turn on you real quick. Look at Ben Simmons, right?
Right. They could. Well, any fan base could do that, So I understand. But hey, Laker Nation loves you, bro, and we appreciate you staying strong for Laker Nation out there in Philly, man. That's what's up.
Definitely, man. I guess what I wanted to ask you was, I know everybody's debating like the GOAT conversation and LeBron. Like, where do you stand? Like, do you feel as though he already is the GOAT? He can still become the GOAT. He can't be the GOAT. And like, how much what do you think a title would do for his legacy?
I think this is what I think. Okay, this is my my objective opinion, and I think that the GOAT conversation is really it matters on which era you grew up in. I've talked to older fans, and they can't move off of either Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan, no matter what. You can wave LeBron in their face, Kobe Bryant in their face. You can wave anybody in their face all day long, but they won't. They will refuse to move off of their favorite player. And so it really comes down to if you really want to be objective, my GOAT is always going to be Kobe. I grew up on that. He's the one who got me into basketball. But if I'm going to take off my Kobe Bryant fandom hat, I would probably give it to LeBron, because I'll be honest with you, LeBron James has accomplished things that other players couldn't even imagine of. I mean, this man has been to the finals, 10, 11 times already? This man has taken 3 different franchises to championships. That's unheard of. He's the first player to ever do that. He's going to be the scoring leader of all time, right? And he's probably going to be the assist king too. He's shattering all kinds of records. And if he gets another championship to get his number 5th ring, I think it's really hard to make an argument against LeBron James as being the GOAT. Just taking off my Kobe hat. But I'm going to put my Kobe hat back on because he's the one who got me into loving basketball. So that's my GOAT for life, man. No blasphemy over here.
Yeah, I hear that, man. Yeah, I feel the same about. I love Kobe too. That I grew up during the Kobe and Shaq time. I was a kid. Yeah, but yeah, I guess if I'm being I don't know if I'm being objective. I think for me, it's definitely LeBron. But if somebody's like, "Oh no, I think it's Jordan," I'm not mad at that. Like I'm like, I can make an argument for both. I just don't like how they're like, "Oh well, Jordan won 6 rings." I'm like, Kareem won 6 rings. Why does nobody ever say?
I mean, listen, you know? the ring debate is really stupid because Robert Horry had like what 8, and he's nowhere near the GOAT conversation. And then let's not even start with Bill Russell. This man don't have enough fingers for rings. You know what I'm saying? Let's remove the ring conversation because that's more of a situational thing and the way your franchise built around the player. Because let's be honest, had the Cavaliers and Dan Gilbert, got their head out of their what and built around LeBron better earlier in his career, this man would probably have 8 rings right now. So a lot of it is, a lot of it is stubbornness from the front offices, and sometimes they get in the way. You saw the Bulls documentary, right, with Michael Jordan?
I did.
Oh, so if you go back and you watch that documentary, Jordan could have very easily ended up with 8 championship rings himself. Because
they could have at least won 7. They could have ran the season back.
Right. So what I'm saying is, who got in the way? It was their GM who wanted more credit, and sometimes egos are a horrible thing. We saw it with Shaq and Kobe. It destroyed a dynasty. We're seeing it. I think we're seeing that with the Lakers right now, bro. I think we're seeing the egos flare up. That's why you see AD pushing Dwight Howard. That's why you see Russell Westbrook trying to do too much when he returns back to OKC. And these guys are really going to have to check that ego and leave it at the door if they want a chance at a championship.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. It's a team sport at the end of the day. That's why we need LeBron back, man, because he would have put a stop to that. He would have said, "Slow it down. We're gonna swing the ball around, get quality shots." Russ jacking up threes. He's shooting like 17%. But I mean, I think we'll be fine. But definitely got to check those egos for sure.
For sure, and we have to buy in too, because I feel like Frank Vogel's not assertive enough with his superstars. I have yet to see him get in any of those players' faces during his short stint here with the Lakers. Sometimes you need to. You remember even Phil Jackson getting in Pau Gasol's face and pounding his chest? I remember Phil Jackson even benching Kobe sometimes, just to let that ego, deflate a little bit. Sometimes you got to be that coach. You got to be that roughneck coach that says, "Hey, listen, you're the best player on the team, but you're not the leader here. I am. And I say who comes in and who comes out. And if you keep jacking up threes, Russell Westbrook, we're going to sit your ass right over here. Keep it warm." We need to have that kind of coach. I think a Mark Jackson would be great. But I don't want to start that conversation because we still have Frank, and I want to show him respect. He is. I guess at the end of the championship coach. But I can see that. I would want him to show a little bit more of that too, like a little more, a little Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich would hurt. Yeah. When you coach superstars, you can't just sit there and let them do whatever they want. Just ask George Karl, right? You can't. You're gonna end up without a job in the NBA. It's a very fine line you can walk between allowing a superstar to do whatever he wants and then also or scolding him. You can't go overboard and try to show him up either. There needs to be you need to earn these players respect, and it's just something some coaches have. Doc Rivers has that. But then he goes overboard sometimes, and then he throws his players under the bus. You ever notice that? That's why Ben Simmons don't want to play there no more. Right?
Yeah, I noticed that quite recently.
Yeah, I've always said Doc Rivers is overrated to me because I feel like he's quite the asshole. He's been that since he was in Boston. Part of the reason they traded Rondo away and they broke up the band. And then he went to the Clippers, and thank God he went to the Clippers because he brought his toxicity BS over there too. And now you see what he's doing in Philly. Now he can't even get his players to play for him no more. So what happens is there's a fine line you got to walk. You can't overstep your boundaries as a coach either, but you can't be a pushover. So it's like it's a really special type of coach it takes to coach these type of superstars.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's a little off topic, but I do have to say with Doc Rivers too. Yeah, you could definitely see. I hate to say it because I'm glad we won in 2010, but he also did blow a 3-2 lead. So
absolutely, yeah. And I know they were pretenders from the moment they acquired Doc Rivers, and he was more focused on covering up our championship banners than rebuilding that franchise. You got to prioritize. You can't. That comes off as insecure to me, doesn't it? Like, hey, my first order of business is covering up those banners. Like, really? That's your first order. You just came off of firing a racist owner, and that's your first order of business. Like, come on, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate the call so much, man. Anything you want to say to Laker Nation?
Man, no problem, man. Hang in there. You know what I'm saying? Gonna get this championship real quick.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. 18 on the way, right?
Yes, sir. Pass them Celtics.
Let's go, baby. Let's get it. Appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Keep doing what you're doing, too.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Will do. Thank you, man. So, man, very educated Laker Nation, man. Always brings the best out of me. Y'all elevate my game to another level. And I think it's great that he brought up the Frank Vogel situation, because that's exactly how I feel. People think coaches don't matter. They matter. Okay, coaches matter when you win championships. Now, sometimes the talent will be so overbearing that a coach will just, hitch a ride all the way to the championship, and he doesn't have to do much. Tyronn Lue, you know what I'm saying? Or even Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is a super overrated coach who just took advantage of what Mark Jackson had already built and had laid down the foundation. But that'll never get talked about, right? But coaching matters. Coaching matters, and I've never seen Steve Kerr lead a Curry spearheaded team to the finals without having a super team. So those coaches, I really tend to not prioritize if I was a GM looking for a coach in the coach hunt. You know what I'm saying? I prefer a coach that can maximize whatever he has. For example, Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau is a perfect example. Okay, Tom Thibodeau, if you hand him the keys to your franchise, he will do what it do with it. I mean, he knows what to do. He brought in Derrick Rose. He brought in Taj Gibson. He brought in some hard workers, and he turned the identity of that team around, that franchise around. That's my type of coach. I would love me a Tom Thibodeau on the Lakers. Somebody who's not afraid to yell. I mean, you can hear Tom Thibodeau all the way outside the arena. He has one of the, the raspiest voices out there, but the point is that he's doing his job to the best of his ability. He's out there letting the refs have it. He's out there letting his players have it. He's out there letting everybody have it. So I love those kind of coaches. They work with what they have. And if you look at the Knicks, they're 4-1. They just beat the 4-0 Bulls to dent their record. And they are really, he has taken a team that didn't have a star. He polished the diamond in the rough in Julius Randle, and now they have a very formidable team. So looking forward to that. All right, let's take another call. What's up, man? You on live with Laker Nation?
Hey, what's up, Dtlf? Dan, what's going on, bro?
Nothing much, man. Just sitting here chopping it up with the good people of LA, man. Talk to me.
Yeah. The last it really stung a lot, bro. Like, I can't deny it. That ruined everyone's night that night, probably.
You're talking about the last game? I'm sorry, you kind of cut off a little bit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was so whack, bro.
You know what? I didn't even know this, and I said that was the worst loss that I've seen in a long time. But it turns out that was the worst loss in the history of the franchise. We hadn't, in 25 years or something like that, we hadn't led by 25 or more points and lost a game. That's pretty crazy to think about. And that just shows you how much we need to improve, as a unit, as a roster. So we still have a ways to go, man.
Yeah. I remember one time the Lakers, they were up by 20 when they had Ariza and Pakistan back in 2009. They were up by 20 versus the Pacers. And the Pacers came back and beat them by 2.
Yeah, but I'm talking 26 over 25 points, and they still lost, man. That's not, you don't want to be in that type of record, You don't want to be the first team in 25 years. So yeah, man. And people, what's crazy is people were telling me in the comment section we're being too dramatic. It's like, no. I don't think I'm being dramatic enough. I should start breaking stuff around this room, after watching that game. Like, that was bad, man. And we can only go up from here, though. That's the good news, right? I think the Lakers will hopefully, they haven't shown it yet, but I need to see that fire. They need to really come out here with no mercy. They need to instill that fear in the opponent that is not there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not us that are just doing bad too, other top tier teams like the Bucks, the Suns, and the Nets, they're all below 500 too. So it's it should be at least the top 2 or 3 teams, 2 or top in the league,
Well, see, what happens is that every year the talent in the NBA gets better and better through the draft. It gets better through trades. So teams get better. Teams don't just sit on their hands. Look what the Bulls did this offseason, right? Teams don't just sit there and wait. And so, I the expectations for the NBA season are always high for a team that achieved the previous season, or a team that's really
Right.
stacked and has superstars. But however, those teams you mentioned, for example, the Suns, I think they got lucky last year. I don't think we'll see them in our lifetime make the finals again, believe it or not. Might be a little too harsh, but that's just how I feel about the Suns, unless they get really lucky again. The Bucks, I don't think. What's the Bucks record? I don't think they're struggling that bad. I mean, they look good opening night. I haven't seen them since. Um, the Nets. Now I've always said their defense is horrible. Little did I know that our defense will be worse this year to start. But we have the tools to make that defense better. They don't. They don't have any young athletic big other than what Nick Claxton maybe, and everybody else is past their prime. And they have a coach that's from the coaching tree of Mike No D and Tony, right? So I don't expect them to get much better unless Kyrie comes back. But Kyrie's always been one of my favorite players for a reason, man. He can be an X factor to a team for sure. So I'm kind of hoping he doesn't go back, you know. But the Lakers, here's the thing: if you look at all of our games, all five of them, right? We're 2-3. We really should be 5-0. All of those games were winnable. Let's start with the opening night. We had 3 good quarters, and then we allowed them to stay in the game. We made mistakes, and then we had a bad fourth. We lose versus the Warriors opening night. And then what was the other one we lost? I forgot the other one. But even the other night when we played Memphis, they could have won. They had momentum, and then John Morant misses a free throw, and that's what was our saving grace, right? So the Lakers are really just flexing bad habits, and we need to cut those. We need to cut those right away, because if not, we're going to continue to rack up these losses. And remember, our schedule will get a lot harder around after December. Our schedule starts getting a lot harder. So these are all must-win games for us early in the season to position ourselves in a good standing in the West, because people said standing didn't matter, and guess what? It matters, because now there's home court advantage again, and some players get rattled playing for the opposition, against the opponent's crowd. So we need to have home court advantage at least for a couple of series in the West.
Yeah, that's true, man. Definitely.
But I appreciate the call, man. We're gonna keep on tugging because we got a bunch of the phones. Actually, I already missed a couple calls, so I appreciate you for calling in, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. See you later, bro.
All right, brother. Whew. So if you guys were calling in right now, man, I could take your call now. The line's open right now. Dan, what time is the game tonight? Game starts at 7:30. I will do pregame and break everything down pregame at 6:30-ish. So if you guys can find me, if you guys want to talk more about the Cavs versus Lakers, I'll be here breaking it down. Right now, we're trying to tackle this issue that is the Lakers' lack of defense. Ranked, somebody said 25, but last I checked, they were dead last this morning when I checked. So I think we're ranked dead last in defense in the NBA. And we have a coach who's supposedly defensive minded. So what is the real issue here? A lot of people say, bench Russell Westbrook. A lot of people saying fire Frank Vogel. But the real solution for me is within the roster. It's within what we have right now. And remember, people haven't talked about this. Not one caller brought up his name, but I will bring it up. Trevor Ariza, who's supposed to be this 3-and-D wing. He's 6'9". He has a good wingspan, and he's coming home too to play for the Lakers. It's been a couple years, right, since he won a championship with us, but he's coming back, and I expect Trevor Ariza to make some sort of an impact here. It might not be as big as I want it to be, but he's definitely going to dent the Lakers' defensive rotation. I think he can help out with his size and his versatility, his ability to just have high defensive end IQ. We need players like him, and he's a veteran. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the number back on the screen. My bad, I didn't realize I had removed it. Let me put that back up there. Let's see. There it is. All right, there's a number right there, guys. No wonder the calls stopped coming in. You said waiting on a reason, man. Here's something for Vogel haters. If you fire Vogel, who will you replace him with? Fizdale? I mean, that is also a fair question. I haven't really thought about it because I don't expect him to get fired. But yeah, if you fire Vogel, I mean, that's a very fair question. The number's right there, bro. If you want to call, number is 909-340 1463. And we got our caller coming in now. What's up, man? You on live with the people?
Yeah, man. First, I'm gonna give you a shout out, man. I enjoy your show, and I tune in faithfully.
Appreciate you, man.
I wanted to talk about when the season first started. I remember you were saying that you were a big advocate of starting DJ, and the whole time I knew DJ kind of sucked, man. And that's I go with Dwight Howard all day. He's a real defensive guy. I think he needs more time.
Right.
I believe that's where our problem is at.
Okay.
And, even though that first time with Kobe, I was a big Dwight Howard fan. Everybody dumped on him. He was injured and still led the lead in rebounds. So I think that's our big problem is our center position, man.
Okay, fair enough. And I'm glad you brought that point up on, me vouching for DeAndre Jordan. Now, remember, when we first acquired him, I did also mention how don't expect too much from him, right? But
yeah, you did.
I kind of foresaw this type of effort from DeAndre. And the reason I wanted to start him is just for depth purposes. If you bring him off the bench, he's not going to give you even any sort of motivated minutes. I don't know if you've been noticing, but the last couple games, he's been catching lobs. He's been getting a couple block shots and some rebounds. So he's giving us something. Now, I understand that on pick and roll, he's getting killed. He's getting murdered. He's getting assassinated, And it ain't even Halloween yet, But this man's a horror movie in itself defensively. And, that's why I was a little bit puzzled why we even brought him to LA. But I think, you know what? I said I was willing to give him the starting shot just to see if he was able to play a little more motivated. And I agree with you, man. I don't think it's good enough what he's done so far offensively to offset his defensive liability, So, but here's the problem now. Now, if you start Dwight Howard, right? What about foul trouble? He tends to rack up fouls. Some of those aren't even real fouls, but the referees, they've been really atrocious with us every year. So that's my only concern. Now, what happens is if you remove DeAndre Jordan from the starting lineup, my only solution is not to start Dwight, but move AD to the 5 full time. And then I would start either LeBron or Carmelo Anthony at the 4, the other one at the 3. And then, the similar lineup to what we have with the rest of the players. But what do you think of that, man?
And that's another thing you mentioned, putting Davis at the 5. Here's the thing with that. That guy can't play defense on the 5 because he shies away from the physical nature of that position. And every time he hits the ground, you don't know if he's going to get back up. He hits the ground, you think he's dead. So he needs a big guy with him. I believe he's more like a 4. He's a 4 and a 3.
Right.
Now, on the offensive end, he can pull the centers out to him. But as far as defending the big centers, like the guy from San Antonio, he killed us.
Right.
That was his high. So, he's no good defending them big guys like that, but he can go at them on the offensive end. That's why we would need a Dwight Howard to do the banging. But like you said, he has a bullseye on his back. He breathes on somebody as a foul. And I don't like the theatrical that he always comes with. He needs to calm that down. He just needs someone to have a real talk with him to, I don't know, maybe Meta World Peace needs to introduce him to his psychiatrist.
Right.
I'm just going,
Well, you know what? You make very good points, bro. I'm so glad you called because those are all fair points. You're right about Anthony Davis not wanting to bang down low and all that stuff. However, I think we can get away with starting him there. And maybe around the 6 or 5 minute mark in the first quarter, you bring in Dwight off the bench. You know what I mean? And that way he doesn't pick up as many fouls early, and you can kind of space him out here and there. That's what I would do because I actually like AD at the 5. Defensively, I feel like he can hold his own, and but I do get he's going to get burnt sometimes, and sometimes he's going to end up on the floor per usual. But the benefits of just having him out there is that now you get to go smaller. You get to open up the lanes for all these slashers like LeBron and Russ and all these guys. And by subtracting DJ, now you got an extra slot to put somebody in the starting lineup. So let's just say you put LeBron at the 4 and you go small ball, right? With AD at the 5, LeBron at the 4. Now you could even start, Austin Reeves there at the 2 with Kent Bazemore at the 3. And now you got a really good defensive perimeter that's going to limit some of that, penetration and pick and roll defense might be a little bit better as well. Because I don't know if you noticed, but we've been getting destroyed. Any sort of screen that gets set, it don't even have to be a pick and roll. It could be a back screen. Right. It could be, just one of them pick and pops 3-point shots. We are not doing a good job switching on those or fighting through the screens. So I think inserting another capable defender like Austin or somebody like that would really help the starting lineup as well. So for those reasons, I would really like to start AD at the 5. They were talking about it, man. I want to see it now.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you for taking my call, man, and keep up the great work. And go Lakers, man. I'm a diehard, brother.
I appreciate you too, man. Thank you so much, brother. Go Lakers, man. Let's get this dub today. Thanks so much for the call. Very, very, again, man, every call so far has been on point, bringing up great, amazing, interesting points that, I love talking about stuff like this because it gets slipped the mind sometimes. What's up, man? You're on live with Laker Nation.
What's good, Dan?
What's good, brother? Where you calling in from? LA. All right. Talk to me, man.
So what's the plan for the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Lakers?
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat that one more time?
What I was saying was, how can the Lakers bounce back after that disappointing loss? And I'm sorry to bring that up.
No. Go ahead, man. That's what it's for. This is what the channel's for. We need a vent. How we can bounce back, I'll tell you what the Lakers need to do. The Lakers need to come out here, man, and start changing the narrative, because right now we're looking like one of the softest teams in the league. How do you do that? We got to just start defending a lot better. It starts with the defense. And then also we can't go on these horrid dry spells. If we can, again, I've been saying it, we look great in spurts. Sometimes we look like Showtime basketball out there. Even when we've been catching nails, we look good in spurts, but that's not good enough in the NBA. I was listening to a radio station this morning. They were talking about how the NBA is mostly young and they love to run you out the gym. Well, that's what it's looking like. They're looking way younger than us, and we actually looking old. Looks like the critics were right. But in order to change that narrative, they got to just start putting fear in their opponent. They got to start playing smart defense. They have to start communicating on that end first, and then that'll lead to better chemistry on the other end. You get a block shot, guess what? It's probably going to be a transition bucket. We start getting the easy ones taking care of the basketball. Now it translates to wins. What the Lakers need to do is they got to whoop tonight. They don't got to win. I don't want to see a 1-2 point win. I want to see a ass whooping, of the highest degree. I want to see a 20-point blowout. I'd love to see that. That would really start settling me down a little bit. Like, okay, they're gonna figure it out, right? And then we got to build. Go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah, because the Lakers haven't gotten a blowout yet, like beating the team by 20 points. But yeah, they really need to take care of Cleveland, because did you see the score where they smacked the Flippers by 13 points? It was like 92-79. I was wondering if you saw those highlights.
Well, I know that the Cavs are a little bit of a better team than what they were last year, right? But that's going to happen because young players grow and get better, and they did acquire Lauri Markkanen, and they already have Jared Allen. So they got 2 7-footers in there that are very skilled. One's a great rebounder and a hustler, and the other is a 3-point shooter, can stretch the floor, and he got footwork and all kinds of shots in the paint. The Lakers are going to have their hands full today. And I think LeBron will play, but whether he plays or not, this needs to be a statement win, because that was embarrassing what happened the other night. And the only way for Laker Nation to start getting forgetting about that loss is they got to get a win streak going here. I'm talking 4 games or more, to really put Laker Nation back on the good graces, because yeah, man, a lot of these losses should have been wins. And we don't see that killer mentality in this team right now. And I think that's what, a lot of people, I hate to bring them up. I hate to bring this up because, RIP, God rest his soul. But this is what a lot of people miss about Kobe and that type of superstar, is that whenever they got a lead on an opponent, they smelled blood. They were like sharks in the water. That the Kobe Bryants of the world, they used to take over and never look back, man. That's why he was one of the most feared offensive players in the history of the league. And I look at our team right now, and I don't see that dog anywhere. And as much as I'd like to say LeBron's getting older. He used to be that dog, but it's starting to fade little by little. People won't like to admit it because he looks great on the jumper and all that. But at times we settle too much, man. Everybody on the roster. So I need these guys, Somebody has to emerge as a killer and start setting the tone so that the rest of the teammates follow suit. And that's what I need from the Lakers tonight, man.
Yeah, because I've been seeing these other games. Like I saw Golden State last night, and they got beaten bad. Like they lost in overtime against the Grizzlies, and I'm like, and yeah, they were up by 19.
Right. But
And
remember, we got to be held to a higher standard. We got all these Hall of Famers on the team. You don't expect these veterans to be giving up leads. They have to lead the younger players, and they have to lead by example. Yeah. So when they're giving out leads, it opens up the door for all kinds of tragedies when THT and Malik Monk and all these guys come back because – not Malik Monk, I'm sorry, Kendrick Nunn. Because if they're seeing your veterans aren't leading by example, then they're going to be like, I got to get mines too. Now everybody's playing selfish. We got to play as a unit, take care of the basketball. And by the way, the Grizzlies look phenomenal. We could have easily caught that L had Ja Morant made all his free throws, went to overtime. They had the momentum. So I'm glad we won that one. But that was probably the bet. That one and the San Antonio Spurs wins, that's all we have to show for. So we got to play a lot better, man.
Yeah, you're right. Because they really – because coming Christmas time, I'll be stoked to see them versus Brooklyn. It'd be interesting to see, yeah, just to go a little ahead, what's your expectations between the Lakers and the Nets? Should it be, kind of a close game, or should it just be a blowout just to embarrass the Nets? Because I got to ask, did you see that score where they took – where Miami beat them? It was 104-89.
Yeah, man. Miami. I told people before the year started. I've been telling people last year, but last year Miami was hurt. Miami got better, a lot better this offseason. And if they're healthy, they could easily be out of the East, easily. Oh, either them or Milwaukee. Those are my two favorites. So, as much as I want to see that Brooklyn Lakers matchup, we got to take care of business before we get there because, we haven't really beat a good team this year. And we're still not going to face one till it's going to be a while. We play after tonight, we play the Rockets on Sunday. So we're still playing mediocre type talent. Not mediocre, but, tanking teams. And so we have to take care of those before we can get to the big dogs. And we actually have to beat the big dogs. So I'm not going to feel good about this team until we get a big win versus a good team. We had a chance early versus Golden State. We lost. We had a chance versus Phoenix. We got embarrassed. So we got to beat one of those teams, man.
Yeah. And I kind of get with the Phoenix Suns, I remember the time when you kind of went on a little rant saying calling them the FCC, which I do agree with you because they always do flop and complain and cry. It was funny when they got their comeuppance against Phoenix. Because you saw how Jay Crowder was salsa dancing, and I'm sitting here what's the point of him doing that in the middle of a game?
Right. Well, and to the point I made earlier, opponents don't fear us. If they did, they'd be very careful about what they did. I don't ever remember anybody salsa dancing on Kobe, and when they did, they lived to regret it, man, because he would go off for damn near 81. So. A killer needs to emerge, and he needs to set the tone for this team, whether it's LeBron, Anthony Davis, or Russell Westbrook, or Carmelo. Carmelo has that killer instinct. So whoever emerges from this team, whoever emerges, that's what we need.
Yeah, versus the Grizzlies, bro, he was lighting up the floor.
Right. He can do that. He can do that.
I expect him to do that.
Yeah, he can do that for sure. I'm not surprised whenever Carmelo goes off like that because he's going to have nights where he turns back the clock. That was just one of them. But thanks so much for the call, bro. Got a ton of callers to get to, man. So I appreciate it.
Dan, thank you for having me here. It's an honor being on your stream.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the support, man. As always, go Lakers, baby. All right. So I do want to get to that point. The NBA right now thinks that the Lakers are a laughingstock. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They think that Skip Bayless and all these guys that have been clowning us all year, they believe that. Lakers got to change that narrative. We got to start getting really aggressive. Just the other day, you saw what happened in Russell Westbrook's own house. You got Darius Baisley being up 5 with like 5 seconds left to go, he dunks it and runs up the score. That's how you know people don't respect us, man. So let's take another call though. Let's see what's okay. I just dropped your call. My bad. We have to, man. He said, unfortunately, when you're getting your ass whooped, you don't dictate who salsa dances. That's true. That's true. And that's why I'm telling you, we got to put fear on our opponent. What's up, man? You on live with Dan?
No, what's up?
Where you calling in from, bro?
Man, I'm calling from New York.
New York in the house. That's what's up. Talk to me, man.
Man, Russ. We need Russ to be Russ tonight, man.
And by Russ being Russ, do you mean like a triple double or
no, like attack? We need him to attack the basket. Stop settling the pass first. We need him to attack.
I'll say this, man. We need Russ to play smarter because he's a damn good player. He can get his whenever he wants. But if it's the pass that's open, that's what I want him doing. If it's the shot that's open and he's making it, that's the one I want him taking. You know, I think yesterday's not yesterday's, but it feels like yesterday, right? But the last game tells you exactly all I need to know about Russell Westbrook. And that's he's a freaking animal when he wants to be. First half, he went off. He had like 9 assists at the half. You know, he already almost had the triple-double at the half. And then the second half, he just laid an egg because I feel like he got carried away. And that's his ego.
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere of Oklahoma. That's what got to him.
He needs to let that ego go and say, okay, we're up. Now I don't need to be all extra. Who cares if I get the triple-double or not? Let's go get this dub, you know, and take care of the basketball. That's it.
And it annoys me, too, because he's giving Skip stuff to talk about. He's proving Skip's point, and it's making me mad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like this team, they need to have a players-only meeting and say, okay, here's the pecking order. LeBron, I'm first. Anthony Davis, that's number 2. Or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Russell Westbrook, all right, whenever I'm on the bench or whenever you see us struggling, you need to kick it into overdrive and take over. And then everybody else falls in line. Because right now I feel like there's no pecking order. Everybody's just coming up, pulling up, you know, trying to get it, you know, trying to pad their stats. And it's like, forget about the stats, man. Let's play to win.
Right. Their defense, they need their defense fixed. Like, if we lose to the Cavs tonight, I'm going to be highly upset.
You're not alone, man. I think my ears will. Yeah, we lose to the Cavs tonight. I'm going to come in here with red ears, man.
I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah, I'm blowing.
I was really upset to watch that Thunder game.
It was.
26 and blew it.
Everybody texted me, man, after that game, asked me what was wrong with the Lakers, man. And I said, I don't know. For the first time ever in my life, I said, I don't know. So we should be a lot better than that, for sure.
We have to win. We have to. We just can't let Colin Sexton go off tonight.
Right. And he's got, let me tell you, them shifty, speedy guards have been killing us all season long. So he's looking for his.
And Frank Vogel, he put Ken Bazemore on the point guards. I'm not understanding that logic.
Yeah. I'd rather have Avery Bradley on him, to be honest with you. But
exactly.
But
or Austin Reeves.
Or Austin Reeves. He's done a good job. But Kent Bazemore has held his own where he can. But you're right. He can't guard every single offensive player in the league. Like he can't be the number one assignment. And then sometimes we're gonna need LeBron to switch out. Sometimes we're gonna need Russ to give their best effort. But you're right. You're right about the defensive rotations, man. It needs to get a lot better. If we lose tonight, I feel like
we're going to be the laughing stock in the NBA, sadly.
Yeah, I think we already are right now. For now, but if we lose tonight, we're gonna really be upset, and I think, it's not gonna be fun to watch sports media for the next couple of days.
I agree.
It already hasn't been fun. Man. You said what?
Yeah, I thought it was nice talking to you, man.
Oh, for sure, man. I appreciate the call, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. We can't lose tonight, guys. All right. That's the last call I'm gonna take for the day, man. If I didn't get your calls in, my apologies. I try to take in as many as I could, but it's the top of the hour already. I got to take a little break before I do pregame a little bit later at 6:30. But great calls today, man. A lot of great points were touched on. I understand that we're still not a complete team, and we're gonna need time to gel. but there's no excuse for losing to a tanking team like the Thunder, who were winless. And after being up 26 points, that's definitely the worst loss in over 20 years. That's crazy to think about. So Lakers got to be better tonight. I will cover it during pregame, so make sure you guys tune in. Thank you guys so much for the calls, the donations, and the likes as well, man. You guys are the best. I will see you guys right here at 6:30. I don't know what time it is. I lost track of time, but okay, it's 5:30. So in about an hour, and then we can definitely dive into the whole Cavaliers, Lakers, and matchups and you know, keys to the game, because the Lakers need to win tonight. And I didn't think I'd be saying that, man. I really didn't think I'd be saying that this early in the season, to be honest with you. I think that's been the most disappointing thing. But anyways, guys, go Lakers. I'll see you guys in about an hour, and take care of yourselves till then. Peace.